how the reformation will affect the Mitch, and you suspect that he may be willing to sacrifice his own people to further the cause of conquest. You understand that he views you individually as expendable, but just how far does his view of expendability extend? He has claimed in the past that there are always casualties in war. You may be right. I'm not sure about your plan, but perhaps it's not the correct path. I'll return to my lord and discuss it. Samal exhales relievedly. I'm very glad that you see things this way. I hope that we can begin a new era of peace, together. Go back to your lord, tell him that I will gladly speak with him, but I have one important question before you go. What exactly happened to Sang-Drax after you escaped from him? As you consider the question, one of the men who brought your possessions into the room began to writhe. He tears off his robe and metamorphosizes into the gigantic shape of Sang-Drax. The Sartan dive for safety behind the benches. Only Sama and yourself remain standing in the open. Sang-Drax ignores the assembly, glides over to the seal piece upon the wall, and grabs it between two talons. The dragon's eyes focus on you, but for some reason you don't experience the wave of fear that accompanied his presence at your last meeting. Alongside of you, Samal is shivering. He looks terrified. Thank you, patron, for painting such a vivid picture of all of the worlds, including your own. That lovely place called the Labyrinth. Definitely a realm after my own heart. You see, I feed on fear and chaos, and I can't see a better way to produce such things than allowing your lord to proceed with his plan. However, since you appear to have lost your nerve, I'll have to take your place. Once again he shifts his form. You'd swear you were looking into a mirror. Your lord trusts you, does he not? Especially when you are doing what he wants. I shall take your ship, go to the Nexus, and deliver the seal piece to him. I'm guessing that it will complete his collection. Then I shall lead him to the vortex where he can perform the rite of reformation. I'm so sorry you decided to turn against your lord. I'm sure that he doesn't view traitors in a very good light. I do hope you won't die in the ensuing chaos. All of you. I'd love to meet you again. We have much to discuss, and an eternity of pain during which we can discuss it. He strolls out of the building before you can say a word. Only after the dragon has left do the councilmen emerge. Samal unclenches his jaw and forces himself to stop shaking. Can't you stop him? No, I'm afraid not. His magic is too powerful for us to oppose. When we were first arrived here, we built the city and placed the Mitch inside the other sea moons, stone enclosed islands much like this one. Shortly thereafter, Sang-Drax appeared. We don't know where he came from. Unprovoked, he launched an attack against us. He never destroyed us all, just killed a few people, but it was enough to keep us scared and confused. We never had a chance to defeat him. He commands some form of magic that is foreign to us, more powerful than the rune-based magic that we use. We erected the ward around the city as a last-ditch effort against him. Evidently it worked. The ward was designed to keep out all foreign magic. Since he consisted almost entirely of pure magic, he could not enter. We decided to enter our sleep capsules. We expected that when the others had learned that we were in danger, they would gather here to help us defeat Sang-Drax. We keyed our awakening to occur when the ward had fallen, assuming that it would arrive only when the other Sartan had arrived. We never dreamed that thousands of years would pass before the ward fell. Now that it has, Sang-Drax is loose. Not only is he a threat to us, but with your ship he has access to all of the worlds. And if he succeeds in causing the reformation, we'll all probably die in the process anyway. You know, Zipnav gave me a stone to use against this ultimate evil. Do you think it might be against, Sang-Drax? I don't know. Tell me about it. You described the stone and the way it reacted to Sang-Drax, as well as Sang-Drax's reaction to it. It sounds like this might be some other kind of magic, perhaps made from the same source that created Sang-Drax himself. It may be that Sang-Drax is vulnerable to it. Where is it? I didn't see it with your possessions. Well, he got hold of it. I'm afraid I can't help you there. I never saw the stone to begin with, so I wouldn't be any help in finding it now, lost among similar rocks. I do hope you're able to get it back, though. Judging from the way Sang-Drax reacted to it, it sounds as if the stone is our only hope to defeat the dragon. Why wasn't I affected by the fear? That's because you had been nullified, remember? Nullifying water eliminates your vulnerability to magic, as well as your ability to cast spells. Sang-Drax's aura of fear didn't affect you because no magic could affect you. If that's so, why didn't you all take up the water? Samal sighs. This is true. Although we would be helpless as well as invulnerable, while the water was in effect, we would not be able to use our magic against Sang-Drax. We could only confront him physically. He can choose any form. In a purely physical battle, he would destroy us, hands down. How did he take my form? That's one of his powers. He can assume the form of anyone or anything he desires. The talent renders him insidious as well as invincible. Where is Sang-Drax leading, my lord? What's the vortex? Yes, the vortex is the one place that the reformation ritual can be enacted. It is where we originally sundered the world. It's also the only place where the interconnection can begin. Well, where's the vortex? The only place from which the vortex can be entered is in the labyrinth. We reasoned that this would be the safest place to hide the portal. It may be that your lord will balk at traveling the length of the labyrinth again, the wrong way, but Sang-Drax can be very persuasive. He will convince him one way or another. Well, what exactly is this interconnection? I keep hearing about it. We designed the realms to work together. Each had specific functions to perform in the overall plan. The interconnection was to tie all the worlds together. Abarak would produce raw materials. Arianis would take those materials and refine them to produce manufactured goods. Prion would supply power to the other worlds. Chelestra was to provide a place for most of the people to live and purify some of the toxins from the other worlds, notably Abarak. The realms were never designed to survive on their own for an extended time, and yet, that's exactly what they've had to do. It's not too late, though. From what you've told me, Abarak is dying. The interconnection is the only thing that can save it. It's the only alternative to reformation. Well, how do you start it up? Much like the reformation, it requires all 5 of the seal pieces. In the center of the vortex is a floating island. It has 4 spires. Each spire represents an element: air, fire, stone, and water. The seal pieces must be placed upon each corresponding sphere. Then the spell itself must be ignited. This is done by placing the focus over the correct rune and inserting the Nexus seal piece into it. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, you did ask. The floor of the island is laid out with many interconnecting runes. Each rune can be used to ignite a distinct spell. Depending on the rune you choose, the function of the spell will be different. The reformation requires that the spell be ignited from one particular rune, the interconnection another. The focus is a hexagonal frame that floats over the island's floor. You can move it over the rune of your choice. When you place the Nexus seal piece inside of it, the focus automatically ignites the rune under it, which casts the spell. Well, what's the starting rune? It would be too difficult to describe, though I will tell you that we left the focus over that rune. We intended to return to ignite the interconnection spell someday. Alright. Do you have another ship that I can use? Yes, certainly. In fact, as we've been speaking, I've had another ship placed in the same port where you landed. You're welcome to it. There is, however, one problem. We seem to be a little short on steering stones. It takes quite a while to magically prepare a stone sphere to accept the naming runes that guide a ship through the Death Gate. The only such stone we have is the ceremonial globe in this very chamber, and you can't use that. Don't you think it's worth sacrificing it? Not at all, you see. The globe was placed in this room before the building's construction was complete. It's too large to fit through any of the exits. It's also far too heavy to move any distance by hand. You're welcome to it if you can find a way to transport it, but then it doesn't have any of the naming runes on it anyway. I don't think that the globe is the solution to this problem. Let's talk about other worlds. Very well, what would you like to know? Do you know who Zipnab is? I know of no Zipnab, but I doubt that is his true name. He sounded like a valuable ally if he knows as much as you say and has access to magic outside of her mastery. Why did you react so strongly when I told you about necromancy? Necromancy was banned for many reasons soon after it was discovered. The most important reason being that when someone dead is raised, someone else will die untimely. This maintains the balance. By relying on necromancy, the people of Abarak have doomed our race. The magic doesn't recognize the boundaries of the realms. It killed Sartan as far away as Arianis and Prion. It wiped out thousands. Oh, that's why they were in coffins dead, not just sleeping. Well, why is everyone here alive and well? Samal laughed sadly. It's actually ironic. The ward that we constructed to repel the magic of Sang-Drax must have had the effect of repelling the magic of necromancy as well. It kept us alive against 2 dangers, but now we only have hundreds of people left where we once had tens of thousands. We shall try to reconstruct our lives to help our brethren on Abarak, if there is a world left to live on. Alright. Okay. You noticed that sometime during your conversation with Samad, the nullification spell wore off. You now have command of your magic back again. Alright, what can we do with the globe? Well, I guess we can try rune transferring onto the globe. You transfer the pendant onto the stone globe. There we go. Well, we can push it. You get behind the globe and push it against it with all your might. The stone sphere creaks, then rolls off its stand, bounces down the steps, and ends up on the carpet. There it slows to a stop. Impatient, the councilmen regard your antics with obvious annoyance. Oh, okay, so we can only move it there. Well, we have a picture. Let's create a reality pocket. You trace the familiar spell into the air. When it takes effect, it's as if the picture in the carpet comes into focus, taken on a new dimension. The scene, a single tree in a lush clearing, is real. The globe sitting on top of the carpet simply drops into the scene. It rolls until it hits the tree there, then stops. Alright. We roll up the carpet and take it from the floor. Now that you've removed the ward, you see that the city beyond is wondrous. Its splendor even dwarfs that of the citadel. Well, there's that cave. Let's go to my ship first. Let's hang this somewhere. You hang the carpet over the nearest support beam. It makes for quite a nice decoration. Let's go in and you step into the carpet hanging from the beam. Immediately you are transported into the scene, a lush clearing with a salt tree. You inhabit the scene woven into the rug. A lone tree stands in a lush field. In front of it you see the portal. Let's push it. Again you gather your strength and heave the boulder-like globe towards the portal. It rolls without much problem. In fact, as soon as the globe is partway through it, gravity on the other side grabs the sphere from your hands. The globe disappears. You step through the portal, back in onto your ship. As soon as you leave, the carpet reverted back to its original state. You stand in the cramped bridge of Samala's ship. It has the navigational wheel and the globe where the steering stone should be. Alright. Let's save. I'm assuming we have to go after that. You see huge, sinuous tracks leading in and out of the cave's mouth. Some debris, including a bone or two, lie strewn amongst the tracks. You walk towards the cave, but as you get closer, you begin to feel fear gnaw at your insides. You felt fear before in the labyrinth, but nothing like this. There's nothing around to inspire such terror, but every step you take toward the cave makes you want to claw your eyes out. Before you're halfway there, you've collapsed on the ground. Magic, you reason. It must be magic. Well, we do have null water. Let's cast that on the water we already have. The spell surrounds the bottle of water. After a few seconds it has done its work. Although the water looks the same, you know that it has the magic nullifying effects that you experienced earlier. Let's drink it. You take a swig of the water. Immediately you sense the effects. Your magic power drains away, making you feel as helpless as a newborn. But this also means that foreign magic cannot affect you. Haha, let's enter the cave. There's no doubt that Sang-Drax calls this cave home. Blood streaks the walls and the floors, littered with the remains of previous meals. Alright, we're going to take his scales, and I don't think there's anything else we can do here. Rock pile, look at it. Now that Sang-Drax has left, the stone is no longer reacting to its magic by glowing. It looks like every other rock on the pile. Finding it is going to be an impossible chore. Unless we put the scales... You spread the dragon scales over the pile of rocks. As you hoped, Zifnad's rock reacts to the magic in the scales by glowing. Now, the rock is very visible and easily distinguishable from the other stones in the pile. Alright. I think that's all we can do here. We have to return to the Nexus. You take the dragon ship back through the death gate and return to the Nexus.